circumstances, and he got that Callista. They played towards him early. He was really vibing with the pressure coming in from Inspired. And so when I saw the early game, quick shot, I was happy. I felt like
you were happy, feeling good.
Early game. Look at this.
Okay.
There's not to be happy about.
Okay, so the first few minutes, but now by this point,
and then JoJo pops off.
But now hang on. By this point of the game, we're what 7, 8 minutes in.
And
we're going to get to another fight at 60 minutes. Loud had the gold lead. Loud had the kill lead. This was the team fight that made me feel like you'd be happy, but surely you were a little nervous that Loud were in an advantageous position.
Yes, there was a lot of that point in the game where Loud was really performing well, and the early gank that they had, dive top lane on impact, really damaging. But this was huge.
Very good game, and I kind of want to bring this back to a very consistent theme, and that we see more and more the more matches we see between minor regions and major regions. And even LCK teams suffer from this, even LPL teams do, where post-laning phase, you can really start to see the difference. But in mid-game, if you make big mistakes, like these teams, like this, like just over-chasing here into an MF ultimate, getting taken down, and then really trying to hard force when there's already an objective to play for. Obviously, at this point, it's kind of like after the chase, you can't get out of it anymore, so you might as well try to flip it, as they do here. But the fact that they over-chased the way that they did in the first place are mistakes that against better teams is gonna really cost you.
And I do think something Chronicler was mentioning in terms of like the difficulty to execute the comp. Rez, talk me through this play, how it got set up, and then ultimately how you secure the Baron.
So it's the amount of permutations that become available on the map, right? Once you need to start playing the map and macro and very split-second decisions become much more impactful, that's where you really see the gap between major and minor regions. And I like the initial thought here from Loud to say they're making a heavy bot side focused play, we're gonna try and do Baron. But as was mentioned very nicely by the casters, they don't actually have any damage on Baron. Because you have you just don't have the setup. If this is a Kai'Sa, then maybe you get away with it, but you don't.
That's the most Giga Chad Tarek move right there. Ulti, because yes, as you mentioned, a lot of damage being taken from the Baron objective itself. And so it was easy for evil geniuses to slow them down and just wait for time. The most important thing was the fact that they were
Chronicler, I'm going to come to you for final thoughts here as we take a look. I think the gold graph, and you can see that gold lead, plus 3.5k at 20 minutes is significant for Loud. Your closing thoughts for this match that EG ultimately won, Chronicler?
I'm going to go back to what I've been saying, which as much as I like the individual play of LLL, and I think that Loud drafted a great composition, which this is the type of style I'd always want to try when you're playing as a team that you perceive as stronger.